Bam, 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 bam.
Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome back to FU. This is Zachary.
And I'm Thomas.
With this podcast, we're ripping off filters, diving deep into queer discussions, and traversing controversial Reddit posts.
We're here to make you laugh, think, and maybe question your life choices.
Because not only are we flaming,
We're unfiltered. Oh my god! It's Tuesday!
I feel like we haven't recorded forever.
I know. It has been 2 weeks plus 2 days, right? The visuals are not going to be visualing today. We're testing it out with my laptop because it just would be a lot easier if I could use my laptop instead of hauling my PC. You know what this means?
You gotta buy another one.
Yeah, I have to get a new laptop.
Good idea.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's fucking an abysmal snow, it's awful.
Yeah, frozen tundra again.
Here to talk about the weather, but
It's supposed to be spring. No, it is technically spring.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I took today off because I didn't want to drive in the snow, which I feel like is a reasonable. I'm always made feel bad for calling off because of snow, but I'm like, that is a reasonable reason to call in. If we won the lottery, but we couldn't tell anyone because you don't tell anyone. That's just the thing. What would be the signs?
Oh.
Haven't you seen that TikTok trend where it's like, we won't tell anybody, but there'll be signs.
And they have 400 cats.
Yeah.
I'd probably build a dome over our house just so nobody bothers us.
What?
Like a dome over our house? So I don't know. So nobody can come in and nobody bothers us.
Okay.
Like a big glass dome. And then it'll also be our nice enclosure. And then we never have to. But then how will the rainwater get in?
Yeah. I mean, we don't want the rainwater to get in, but
I mean, we need it to rain on my plants and stuff. I didn't think this through.
Yeah, don't give Zach $1 million. He's just gonna build a dome.
Build a wall.
That's his first. I'm like, what? But you like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That is a good question. I'd probably build a bit, or I'll minimize that idea and just build a big fancy greenhouse, and fill it with more houseplants.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say plants for sure.
Plants are my personality. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As I have a box of plants waiting in the sink. Did you see it? I think this is such a silly phenomenon because I think it is such an American phenomenon for some odd reason. Everybody was freaking out because the princess was missing.
Oh,
Kate
Middleton, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was freaking out. And then it's everyone was doing the rumor mill, she's been there was a video of someone else. It was a completely obviously different woman, but they're
it's planted.
This is such a fake plant. This is such a fake
it's to promote our album.
Kate and Arya are going on tour.
Have you seen the Trisha Paytas rumor about that?
No?
You haven't heard this? It's a huge, I interpret it as a joke, obviously, but it's this huge thing that I keep getting TikToks on about and stuff. But it's a theory that Trisha Paytas's kids are the royal family reincarnated.
Yes.
Because what's his name died, and then
Malibu
was born.
Yeah,
what's his not the
the
king or whatever.
Stop.
Well, it wasn't the same day, but
or around the same time. The queen died, and then
the
Malibu.
queen died, and then Malibu was born. Yep, That's
So
right.
yeah, I just think it's interesting because it was just like a bunch of Americans that I guess I saw, and they're all like, she's missing, she's dead, like the prince has replaced her, like all these things, and it's
Yeah.
like, and she had surgery, and it's like she doesn't want to go out in public because she had surgery. Like, what?
I mean, I think she kind of fed into it by editing those photos, though, don't you?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Like, just don't take any photos.
Just don't take any photos. Like, it's
Like,
fine.
what?
If you're like anybody else in the world would be like, you have surgery, take it off, take a month off, and you're also a fucking princess. You can do whatever you want. Like, you could take the whole decade off and
Yeah, I just think
not
like
go outside again.
fabricating photos of yourself to like appear, like it does make it seem like something else is going on there.
Right. Well, yeah, and then her and the king both have cancer, so that's a sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know them at all,
Oh,
so they can die. No, I'm just kidding.
oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Continuing on my bummer topics.
Content warning. The next section of this podcast contains description of death and abuse. Viewer discretion is advised.
Did you see the bridge collapse?
Yeah, that was like today, right?
This morning.
Yeah.
Some pendejo fucking cruise ship captain fucking crashed into a bridge, and the whole thing is gone. And there's a bunch of people missing, and like $1 billion in damages. And it was because I heard like one thing. Obviously, there's always the rumor of they're like stoned or drunk or something like that. But then I also heard that the electricity kept going on and off in the cruise ship. And I'm like, I feel like those big ass things have generators for that reason. Like, also, how does it go off? Like, I don't understand that. But yeah, like it hit one of the legs, and the whole thing was just like, just slow motion falling.
Yeah.
It was a crazy bananas.
I know. I was like, obviously being on a bridge when that happens would be the worst.
Yeah, I think that was
worst.
I'm pretty sure that was an episode of 911. And it's like,
yeah, because there was another bridge collapse, wasn't there?
Well, the one in Minnesota collapsed. It was a while ago now, but
wasn't there? I don't know. I don't remember. But
the Golden Gate Bridge.
Also, like now they're gonna have to wait for a whole new bridge to.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to go all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like all those people are out of work, or like, yeah, they're gonna have to leave 2 hours early.
I bet that's an hour plus.
Yeah.
Adding to your travels.
I wonder how long it took to build that bridge.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure it was built a while ago, so they probably have more modern technology to do it faster, but
yeah,
it's still not going to be, a month or something. Like
I feel like it's going to be years.
Right, exactly. That's going to be so bad. And then I would feel so bad for as the cruise ship driver. I think it was a cruise or like a freight driver. I don't know.
Yeah, cargo.
Again, uneducated, unknowledgeable.
It was a ship.
It was a big boat.
A big boat.
But yeah, I would feel bad. I'd be like, oh, because of me not paying attention, there's tons of people missing.
Yeah. That'd be so crazy.
Also, did you see, which also happened today, P. Diddy's house got raided?
No.
Well,
raided. Like for what?
So it's rumored that he murdered Tupac. It's also rumored that he is a sex trafficker and a pedo, and like he's super powerful, super rich, so he can do whatever he wants. And there's just like tons of random little rumors, like he's robbed people and he's a big drug dealer and all this stupid shit. Well, there was a lawyer that filed a case against him, and I forgot who the other person is, but like it's illegal to file cases against people without proof, and then it's also illegal for raids to happen without proof. So they raided his home, and they found his flight records, and it's looking pretty sketchy. And then he ran away to a place that does not have extradition, and his
does not have what?
Extradition. So like there's certain countries and certain places that don't have extradition, so like they can't, like the US can't force him to come back. So like I think France is an example, and they can't.
Oh, like they wouldn't
like
force him out.
Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly. and he ran away to one of those places, and his sons had to deal with the raid. And
what?
There's photo evidence of like crime scenes, and there's like blood everywhere, and there's young girls, like they look real young, and they're clearly fucked up. And then
No way.
I have worse news. Jay-Z is in the documents, and Beyonce,
Like as part of
his like sex ring and trafficking and drugs and crimes and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
So Beyonce might go to jail. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Alleged. It's all alleged.
I saw that he like sold his company to an anonymous buyer.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's probably like, I gotta make some money so I can run away.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It
ain't Texas.
She's running away to Texas.
Right.
Anywhere.
Texas would allow all that. Child trafficking sounds great.
Speaking of that, do we want to talk about Quiet on the Set?
I suppose.
We don't have to.
I mean, it is kind of everywhere, so I feel like it's covered multiple places elsewhere, but very crazy.
Yeah, Quiet on the Set, Bananas. What's his name? Dan Schneider?
Yeah. Dan Schneider and Brian Peck.
Yeah.
Apparently some nasty people in Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I just think it's like I said, I think it would be really hard to have all these people, like they would have to meet up and conspire and plot and plan and script to do and say all these things, again, just for clout. Like, not to be mean, like some of these people are nobodies. Like, I've never seen them before in my life. And then there's people who are like Drake Bell, you know, he's a big celebrity, or Amanda Bynes wasn't on it, but she still was a big celebrity. So it's kind of, it would just be really hard to have these 20 people or however many it was lie and make it make sense to fuck over one or two people, you know,
right.
Like just because if Dan was a bad person, like it'd be a lot of work to lie this much, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think it's really obviously true. And then
I mean, it like, you know, it's the missing pieces of the puzzle piece, or the missing pieces of the puzzle, because like those people, like Amanda Bynes, like look how she turned out.
Yeah.
Not saying that, you know, I just think, yeah, something's obviously going on there. And like Drake Bell, he kind of had his moments of like predatoriness.
Yep.
And Leonardo DiCaprio, he's kind of a, you know, he kind of is a lady player now too.
Right, exactly. It's
younger,
like,
goes for the younger groups or whatever.
Yeah, like all of his girlfriends could be his children.
Yeah.
Like that's how young they are. And it's like,
so it's like the proof is kind of in the pudding. Like it kind of makes sense why all these people are like fucked up now.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Amanda Bynes. Like, I don't know. And we've talked about her a couple times, but it's like you can just tell she's like not there, and like it's just super sad. And then
I want to know. Like, she must have went through so much.
Well, and then I feel like she's like under such strict supervision. So I feel like if she wanted to come out and do something about it or say something, they would, you know, put her in the nut house.
The theory is that they all signed NDAs. Way back in the day, or you know, took a payout, like Ariana Grande, like all of them.
Oh yeah,
that's why they're not talking now, is because they took the hush money or whatever.
And then who's the other one? I wish this was on.
Ew, dude, somebody just farted. That smells so bad. I think I'm gonna vomit.
I think it's this one. Ari makes sense why she's not talking, because I feel like you're literally the biggest celebrity and you have the biggest platform. If you said something, like, I bet if she said like fuck Dan Schneider, he did all these things, he'd be in jail for the rest of his life. Like that's just in my opinion, that's just like a bit how big of a celebrity she is.
It's not, you know, there could be a couple of reasons, like the NDA, or they just don't want to talk about it because it was that horrible, you know.
That's true. Like
Ariana Grande, like there are some clips that I've seen And it looks like she's just wasted.
Oh yeah, like just she looks stoned or something.
No, wasted.
Like drunk.
Because she's like, I don't know, trying to get through it or something.
Oh, that's true. That was another celebrity. They said that too. They're like, I was drunk every day.
Yeah.
Who was that? I can't think now.
There's a couple people on that set that said they were drunk every day.
Right. Just because, like, well, I feel like even if you create a legal document, you can't legally sign out pedophilia. Like, I feel like if I was like, here, sign this document that says, like, you can't talk about me raping this little boy, like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I think NDAs don't cover, like, criminal offenses.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, you can't talk about this film because it might not come out for another year.
Right.
You know, like, that makes sense. But, you know, like, you can't talk about details until you're on the press tour or stuff like that. But, yeah, it's like rape and abuse and child, like, pedophilia. You can't sign that into a document, you know?
Yeah, I just didn't really watch Nickelodeon that much, so, you know, all of the scenes, like, I never saw them before to say whether or not I thought they were inappropriate then. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are some people that are, like, commenting and they're like, yeah, I thought it was weird then, and it's even weirder now, you know? Like, all the scenes, like the one with Ariana Grande holding the water bottle.
Or doing the potato. She's like, give me the juice. And it's like, I feel like no matter what, like, even a kid would be like, that's not really funny. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you can't squeeze a potato and get juice from it. Like, that doesn't even make sense in general. And I feel like even if you're like 8 or 10, you'd be like, I don't get it, you know?
Yeah, it's not funny kid-wise.
Yeah. I can see like the water scene. I can see the water scene being like a little slapstick for children. And the kids are like, haha, stupid Ariana spilling water on herself.
But under, like, the back, like, laying on her back and, like, looking up, though, is just so sinister.
Yeah. But as a parent watching that with my kid, I'd be like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah.
And I would write Disney or Nickelodeon. And I would be that. I'd be that mom. I'm writing a letter.
Right.
A stern, penciled letter.
I wonder if they did.
I feel like probably a lot of people did. And probably I wonder if they pulled the scenes from...
No, they're all streaming. That's the thing. They're all still on there.
Ugh, that gives me the shivers.
Yep.
Probably Ariana's probably like,
well, freaking,
I'm done.
There's no case, you know, so
right,
you can't really do anything.
That's true. There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
But
and then he came out with the video or whatever.
Oh yeah, his apology video. It was like, it is
so bad.
It is such a thing where his lawyer saw that and they called him up and they're like, you are going to sit down and you're going to half-ass a apology video and you will say I'm sorry a million times. And then like, but there was a couple things too, like whatever that one video we watched last night, I forget her name, but she's really funny. She just like kept stopping the video and she's like, that is disingenuous, and she's like, that one's victim blaming. That's not true. Yeah. That's been already fact checked. Like, she just kept pausing it and like would play like 20 seconds and then be like, pause it, and then
he would say some pretty crazy things.
Yeah. And then I guess like, not to be a dick too, like, I don't know. I think apologies are nice to a point, but then there's like if I was like, if I hurt your feelings for whatever reason, it's like, I'm sorry, and then we can work it out. But if I like verbally abused you for years on a TV show, I feel like me going, oh, I'm sorry, you'd be like, no, fuck you.
Way
like,
better than just doing it publicly. I feel like just doing it publicly is like,
oh yeah,
so weird.
That was one of her
like, I can see like reaching out personally and then also going public, to say like, I'm sorry for, you know, like, I'm sorry for causing harm to the community by, you know, making this content that is visually disturbing.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense than just being like, I'm sorry I harmed, you know, and he didn't really say like, sorry I harmed anybody. He's like, that wasn't my intention. You know, the fake apology where it's like, I'm sorry it made you feel that way. It was definitely like that. That
was one of her comments was like, I never got a phone call.
Yeah.
She's like, I highly doubt Drake Bell got a phone call. She's like, that's how cell phones work. That's how phones work. You pick it up, you dial their phone number and call them directly and say sorry. Not like this. That's exactly kind of what she said too. Is like,
well, and did you hear about like how allegedly Dan Schneider got Amanda Bynes pregnant at like 14?
And then made a joke about it on her show.
Yeah. And then wrote a joke about like, yeah, and you can just kind of tell that she's like shocked by it as well, like but the like, I don't even, it was, okay, so the Amanda show, Amanda Please or whatever, which I didn't even realize, a man to please, that's,
or her
Amanda Please, a man to please.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Her name was something Taint.
Oh my God, like Jessica Taint or something like remember. That.
But yeah,
all these perversions, like just under. Well, anyways, the joke was there was Amanda Please, in which, if anybody knows, I don't really know that show, but it kind of starts off with like there's like skits and stuff, but it starts off with her like talking to an audience.
What's up?
Not a lot.
Are you in the middle of something here?
Kinda. We're just trying to do a little TV show.
On an empty stomach?
What?
It looks like you could use a pretzel, that's all I'm saying.
Thanks. I'm okay.
Well, what about these audience people?
No, okay, I'll take 398.
Buy 400 and you get a free baby.
Done.
Yeah. Great. Okay, I'm gonna need some help passing these pretzels out.
Oh, no problem. Jim, Barney.
Oh,
like
my God.
Live actual baby.
Oh,
like an actual toddler or whatever, infant.
That's fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's probably why she's fucked up. Like, I don't know. Like, I heard she has bipolar, but that's nuts. I did not see that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, if I were her, I'd probably get a freaking lobotomy, and that's why she's fucked up.
That's why yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, crazy story. It's everywhere. I feel like.
Yeah, go watch Quiet on Set. It is insane.
Yeah, it's really bad, but.
And then that one girl, I think her name's Alexis. Watch that too, because that was really good too.
Yeah, her breakdown.
Don't watch the Dan Schneider apology video because it's just freaking weird and creepy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, don't add views to that, but watch the Alexis.
I just hope it's like another one of those things where like it forces more rules and regulations around kids. Like there will be a therapist on set. There will be, everybody has 20 background checks, drug tests. If that guy's a little creepy, if that woman's a little creepy, you gotta go.
I just don't understand how like power dynamics get so crazy like that in a setting. Like I get like in the workplace, like I've had people on a power trip or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've, you know, known people to be on a power trip at work or whatever. Yeah, and I guess it's just crazy how much like white man privilege one has to like basically create child pornography, you know, in the form of Ariana on her back with the water bottle in front of everybody's eyes and nobody say anything.
Well, and then
like what? That is so crazy.
There was that one writer that was like,
it was so nuts.
Like Dan walked into on set and was like, we're gonna do this joke, and it was something super gross and inappropriate, and everyone was murmuring about it being awkward, and the executives above him were like, yep, go for it.
Yeah. And
everyone was like, what? Like, it's crazy that he can just snap his fingers and make a disgusting scene happen, and everyone above him is like, love it, high five. Yeah, super nutso.
Yeah, and it, you know, it is kind of like the bystander effect too. Like if nobody says anything, nobody does anything. But yeah, I guess if you do say something, then you're fired. And those two women that were on the same salary, that was so nuts.
See, and I get that too. Like, again, like I really want to write for television. I want to do this. It's my dream. I don't give a fuck if that's your dream, if you've worked your entire life for it.
Right, because sometimes
I'm
it's
not
just
about
getting your
to-
foot in the door.
I'm
you
not
know?
about to let anybody be a chomo and it might fuck up my dream. Like, screw that. I would be blowing everybody up and blowing all the whistles and being like, Dan Snyder is an abusive pedo and he needs to be stopped.
Right, when it comes to like regular workplace scenarios, you kind of are like whatever, because I don't know, but when children are involved, it's just like way different.
Yeah, I feel like if somebody was like kind of mean to another adult, I'd be like, or like kind of like pervy. It's like I can definitely see people like looking away a little bit, but it's never a child. Like, that's awful. Drives me nuts.
Well, and like,
Sets me off.
did you see the scene that was written for Drake Bell and Josh Peck? And this was after Brian Peck was convicted, admitted on phone that he sexually abused Drake Bell, was charged, and then Dan Schneider wrote the scene of Josh Peck like being on top of Drake Bell when he woke up.
Yeah, he was in bed sleeping, and then
and Josh was on top of him.
Yep.
It's like, what? That is so crazy, because that's what happened. He was sedated and he was awoken to being sexually abused or sexually like raped,
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I just like I said, like, I'm just like in the boat of, if you're a pedophile, like, euthanasia. Like, there's literally no reason
One
to have
trip to Mars, please.
There's no reason to have these people on this planet. There's no reason to waste our resources in a trial, a conviction. Like, get out of here. Euthanasia.
It is just so crazy.
Yeah. And then I think it's like they need to be made examples of too, because it's like, I feel like it is kind of looked away in a lot of cases. It's such a proven fact too, where it's like, oh, this guy's a pedophile and he gets 6 months probation. It's like, what? Like, no. And then like,
yeah,
I don't know, I steal something from Walmart and I get 4 years in jail. And
were all the fucking letters trying to like ask for Brian Peck's like be easy on him, like he deserves probation. It's like probation for raping a child. Are you kidding?
All these celebrities wrote letters of recommendation.
So crazy.
Character witnesses.
And it's all because Drake Bell was a male.
Right. Yep.
Because if that was a woman, that, like, what?
And then a lot of them were like, it was a mistake. It'll never happen again.
Right. And he's being seduced.
The other one was
by this 15-year-old boy.
Yeah. And then we talked about it before. We're like, okay, let's say Drake Bell was trying to seduce Peck. Like, that's whatever. Like, sure, maybe he has like a crush on him. Like, this isn't real, but it's like, it kind of
isn't real.
It's not real, but it's like, you don't know, like, if somebody might like be closeted and gay and then they're with this male figure for so long and maybe they're assuming that they're gonna reciprocate, but either way, it's a 16-year-old boy with like a 40-year-old dude. You as the adult should be like, no, little boy,
and then like
you cannot seduce me. I'm bringing you home. Like, this is across the line. Like, sorry, you as the adult and the employer
Brian
have the
Peck
power.
isn't a normal adult, obviously, because I think a normal adult would have, obviously. Well, a normal adult wouldn't have invited him over to spend the night at his house.
Yeah, because like the excuse.
And that's the other thing of like the, if it was a female, that wouldn't have happened either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like people like, oh, these are two like males that like, I mean, obviously this was way back then, but like 15 years ago. Nowadays, I think people are on to that kind of stuff more. But yeah.
If I had a kid, you're not staying over at anybody's house until you're 35.
Well, another adult. That's so strange.
Right.
Like, another kid. If you're 15 and 15, like, obviously that's gonna happen. But when it's just another adult, like, That's not family. That is so bizarre.
And his excuse was the driving situation, like where the Bells lived. It was like 40 minutes away, so it'd be a big task to like go this way, 40 minutes this way, then 40 minutes back this way to the set or something like that. Like it was an inconvenient back and forth driving. And he's like, well, I live almost all the way there. Like you can just spend the night here. We'll go to the set and film, and then I'll bring you home.
You know what
like
it's giving? Like it's giving Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And like how he like convinced parents to let the kids spend the night in his room.
And that's part of it, is convincing the parents that it's fine and it's okay. And they're like it's fine. Like I'll buy him dinner. We'll watch a movie. It'll be a fun little boys' night. And it's like, oh, I guess, like, okay, like I don't know.
I think what it is that shit didn't happen before. You know, now this shit has happened. So parents now are going to be a little bit more tuned into that type of shit. Whereas back in the 90s, like, none of that shit happened before. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I feel like Macaulay Culkin was kind of a big jump. Because, like, Drew Barrymore, too. Like, their parents were just, like, wilding out with all their money, the kids' money. And I'm pretty positive both their parents stole almost all their money, and they had to like start all over and get emancipated. And then I think that was like kind of laws were set in place.
Jeanette McCurdy.
Oh gosh, that makes me.
That's also another awful situation.
We should listen to her book.
Yeah, we should.
I really want to.
We have so many books that we have to listen to.
We have to.
When's Tony's book coming out audio?
I think it was out the same day.
Should we just get that?
I think we should.
Because I really want to watch or read, listen, whatever, consume Tony's book.
I know. We bought it
as well.
I bought it the day it came
Tony
out.
And Ryan, Tony, Felicia Lodge.
I bought her
Doctor
book.
Author.
I bought her book the day it came out, and it came like a month later because it was coming all the way from Australia.
And we tried real hard.
And then it sat on the shelf for.
It's still
on the shelf.
Yeah. It's still on our bedside.
One day.
But yeah, watch Quiet on Set. Yeah, we should read Jeanette McCurdy's book.
Yeah.
What's the name of the title?
I'm Glad My Mother's Dead or something like that.
Provocative. That is such a clever name. And it's also like such a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Like to find relief in somebody's death.
Yep.
So it is such a crazy like concept, and honestly like not talked about. And so that book is probably really good. I
also love the cover is really bright and poppy, and then she's like holding an urn. She's like making a cutesy face, and it's like this awful title. And it's like, I guess like that is true though. You know, like that's like a lot of, again, abusers and stuff like that. They're like, thank God that person died. You know,
well,
like,
how conflicting too, because it's your mother.
Right, exactly.
So you hate your mother.
Yeah.
And it's your mother. You know, everybody's like, oh, but it's your mom, you know, so you have these mixed feelings. And then, if she, you know, passes, then I guess, you'd be happy.
Right.
It'd be crazy.
Your abuser's finally dead. And you're like, oh, thank God. I got an email.
Transgender Pizza Hut. Transgender Pizza Hut. Transgender Pizza Hut.
What is that?
Transgender Pizza Hut.
What was it?
It was a Pizza Hut.
Well, I know it used to be a Pizza Hut, but what is it now? Does it say?
No, I think it was a Pizza Hut. They called it a different. Oh, maybe. Well, I don't know.
Like somebody bought it and
it looks boarded up now, so it must have been something different, and then they painted it.
They probably were like, I love
Transgender Pizza Hut.
They're like, I love these colors. They go so well together, but it's like a pet store or something. Yeah. And everyone's like, is this like a whole like transgendered store? Like, what is this place?
Okay, I have another one too. And what are we gonna do once the band goes through?
Yeah, we have to bring this episode up.
Discharge. 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 If it's clear, if it's white, nice. If it's yellow, if it's green, you're gonna go get it checked. If it's clear, if it's white, nice. If it's yellow, if it's green, you're gonna go get it checked out. Little bit here, little bit there. It's on my underpants, I don't mind, because if it's clear, if it's white, that's nice. If it's yellow, if it's green, you're gonna go get it checked out. If it's clear and white, I already told you that's nice. If it's another color, if it smells real strong, if it's new to the underpants, get it checked out. discharge, 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 now. If it's a lot of white, or if it's itchy, not nice. That could be yeast or BV, so yeah, get it checked out. If it's clear and white, that's... If it's yellow, if it's green. Now, if it's a lot of white or if it's itchy, that's right, get it checked.
Discharge. Discharge.
I hated that so
If
much.
it's clear, if it's white, it's nice.
It's nice. Who is that woman? I'm assuming
The
she's
big Lissa.
I'm assuming she's a
Like a sex
ed teacher.
yeah.
Cool.
If it's yellow or green, get it checked out.
If there's a lot of white and
And
it's itchy, it's yeast. Oh my god. I would the confidence to actually follow through with that idea. You're like, I'm gonna make a rap about discharge. Like, cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it did seem like she had a mic.
Right.
So somebody gave her a mic. It's not like it was karaoke or something.
Or yeah, right. Like, and then also if that is a school, they had to approve that. They're like,
I think it was an adult thing. I don't know.
or like an adult. Well, either way, I feel like you'd have to get that
Or a
approved.
comedian, comedy stand up.
Right.
I should have gotten more info.
They're like,
Sorry.
who is this person that just showed up at our high school?
If it's white, it's nice.
Oh my god.
This one is because this was in our last episode.
Oh my god.
That would be a good song to have memorized.
Is this how they dance in the movie?
No.
Oh.
It says highly recommend having choreograph on hand with your friends just in case you need to light up a small town karaoke bar.
That is actually really funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a episode of Friends. Ross and Rachel, Monica had their own choreography to a song.
Yeah.
And they were in a club and they were like trying to be cool and hip, but they were a little bit older and it was a younger crowd. And the song came on and they like look at each other and they're like, oh, this is our song. And they had like a whole dance to it.
Or Romeo and Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
White Chicks. This one.
I just wanted to come and see if you decided on the name.
Yes, we're ready.
Amazing. What is
Michaela.
it? Michaela. That is stunning. All right. So, M-I...
Oh, no, not M-I-C.
Okay. No.
That's too traditional.
M-E?
No, guess again.
Oh, okay. Well, you go ahead and spell it for me and I'll just jot it down.
Okay, so it's M-A-C-K-Q-U.
Oh, you are still going. All right.
L-L-H-A.
Okay, yeah, that definitely does say Michaela.
Michaela.
She's gonna have a great time.
She's going to have a great time in school.
All right, I'm finally back. Did you guys decide on the name for this beautiful baby?
Yes, so excited.
Perfect.
We're just torn on spelling.
Oh, what are the two spellings?
So either J-O-H-N.
Yeah, that is really, really nice. Very traditional. And what's the other spelling?
Yeah, so it's more unique. It's J-A-A-W-H-U-N-N.
Yeah, that does say John as well.
Juan.
Which spelling are you gonna go with?
We're leaning more towards the second option.
Okay, of course you are. All right.
I've seen ones like that too, where they're like that, where it's just like 25 letters, and the nurse is like, pretty.
Pretty.
Oh.
But that was what we talked about last time.
Yeah, I feel like that happens all the time. Yeah, Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, like, why? Yeah, there doesn't need to be 7 X's in Jackson.
Yeah. We also have to talk about J-Lo.
Oh my god. She is like, she's kind of like the cringy aunt, or like, you know.
I just think it's all so funny.
So
Not
amazing.
only did she come out with the movie, but she made a documentary about filming the movie. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
You didn't know that?
Not that part. Oh no.
Yes.
Because I heard
I
the
think we
movie-
should watch the documentary.
We should watch the movie.
I
but
heard the
feel-
documentary is like ironically funny. Or if you watch it ironically, it's somebody said this. I forgot what it was. If you watch it ironically, it's funny on accident or something.
That's really funny. Yeah, I've seen a clip where she
Unintentionally funny.
Yeah, I didn't know she made a documentary about it, but I've seen a clip, and I don't know if this is from the same thing. I'm assuming it is. They're like she always talks about being Jenny from the block.
That's this right here.
Oh yeah, and they're like, "What block? What block are you talking about? Tell me exactly your street address. I want the cross section. Tell me where you're from, Jenny. Otherwise, I don't believe you, and you're probably from like fucking Ohio."
She just okay, but let's watch this one.
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx.
Little fun fact. I was on the set of that shoot. It took her 12 times. We did 12 takes for that commercial. 12 takes. 12 takes. That's insane. 12 times. And that was the one that they went with. That was the best shot we got. After 12 takes. Guess what the one that was? Yeah, you're right. It was the 12th, big brain. Dude, she hadn't even when she was 16, she wasn't in the Bronx. She was already in movies as a kid. God. I miss Aaliyah.
Oh.
I miss Moesha. I miss Monica.
That's so true.
I miss the Spice Girls.
Oh, the Spice Girls. I miss the Spice Girls. Aaliyah, Rib.
I know.
Shut up, J-Lo.
Literally, that's what I mean.
Shut up, J-Lo.
Like she's becoming like the cringy, like I said, kind of loser aunt, where you're like, oh, like.
But you've
please
seen
don't
that
come over.
commercial where she's like running up and down the block?
No.
The one that it starts with?
No.
You haven't seen that? Oh my god, I've seen it like ripped apart a million times. Not only did that person stitch it, but somebody from her high school stitched it.
Oh no.
And was like,
as a person who comes from the Bronx and went to the same high school as J-Lo, I'm going to tell you what the huge red flag is. So not only did we come from the same neighborhood, we also went to the same all-girls Catholic high school. Yep, uniform and all. And you would think a big celebrity like that coming from our neighborhood, we'd be so proud. We'd have a picture in the hallway. The teachers would talk nice about her. It was the fucking opposite. No picture. The teachers all said she was a spoiled brat. So saying you're J-Lo from the block, number one, you did nothing for our neighborhood. You did nothing for our high school. And that's fine. Like, you want to be hot shit? That's cool. No problem. But don't say that you come from the block and talk about like you were some kind of gangster running around. Meanwhile, you had your Catholic girl uniform on and probably went to Tommy's Pizza, got a slice and soda. She's trying to make people from outside the neighborhood think that she's like some type of tough shit or something. And that's fine. You could be whoever you want to be. You're rich. Congratulations. But don't do the rags to riches story. It's not going to work when people from the same neighborhood, we're going to call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah, I've seen that. I saw that one where she was like, yeah, I don't remember. It was like she was like walking in the door or something. And she's like, yeah, this is like a step up from the block. And the person was like,
she
what
keeps
block?
saying that.
Like, what? Tell me immediately. What?
Did you see that ET came out with the video and they're like,
no.
They compiled all the videos of J-Lo referencing the Bronx or on the block and put them all into a video.
No.
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx.
Jennifer Lopez is another girl from the Bronx, not to be confused with the Bronx.
I'm in New York. On the 6th, that's how I used to get from the Bronx to Manhattan. On the 6th train. I was a little girl in the Bronx. Fellow Bronx girl. That's right. I see all my New Yorkers in the house.
Really you have kind of like a baby Bronx theme going on.
The fact that I grew up in the Bronx and I have that style sensibility. I love a big hoop and I love, like I said, a jean and you know what I mean? There's certain things about my upbringing that are still there, that street style. And leaving my house in the Bronx and going into the city and that's really when my career really started taking bigger steps.
The path I've taken from the streets of the Bronx is paved with the love and support of my family and my friends.
I know my town's gonna represent. I live in New York in a nice apartment. Like, I used to dream about that when I was growing up in the Bronx. I was a Bronx girl.
This is Bronx. This is where I used to go to the movie.
It was so funny.
Also, like,
everybody's like, that is so messy, E.T.
Like, is she talking about, like, being hood? Like, she's talking about, like,
yeah, because apparently
grew up rough or something? I guess I don't know anything about her history. But
I looked into it briefly, and apparently, yes, she did, like, you know, grew up poor or whatever, but...
Okay, but I don't know. Like, why do you keep referring to it?
A lot.
I don't know. I guess, like, if I'm... grew up poor, I'd be like, yeah, that was my history, and now here I am. I'm rich and famous. But yeah, she just like continually embarrasses herself.
Yeah, or that rain dancing.
The rain dancing scene. I'm like, you just stole the whole scene from Singing in the Rain, so you didn't think of this at all. This is unoriginal, and it was also done in Goldmember.
Well, it's not an original scene at all. There's so many dancing.
I know, but like, I think the most famous one is Singing in the Rain. I think that was kind of like the first big one, and everybody's just stolen it. Like, yeah, other people have done it, but it's like,
I feel like other people have done it to kind of like mimic that first time, whereas JLo was like, this is so new and me.
This is my version. It's like, you're just dancing in the rain with an umbrella.
There's clips of the documentary where they're like, we should really just watch it because it's so funny, and we can have a reaction video to that or something.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but they like fought over the consistency of this mud for that rain scene for like so long. Oh, and her favorite line, I guess, is,
You can never give up, Joe. Never give up.
too good.
Yeah, she's just becoming super embarrassing.
But yeah, let's go to the gay of the day. These are a few of our Gavorite Things.
So I thought I could kind of mix things up and talk about a bisexual woman for my story. This is my gay of the day. Frida Kahlo. You know who she is?
No.
She's a famous painter. She's the most famous for having the unibrow.
Oh yes, I do know who.
Yeah. So
I didn't know her last name. I just, because she's referred to as Frida.
Yeah, Frida,
right?
Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
Her full name, which I just learned as well during my research, was Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderon.
Oh.
Yeah. So Frida was a Mexican painter known for many of her self-portraits. And she was really inspired by nature and then Mexican culture and Mexican like folklore and things like that. She was inspired by pop culture in general at the time as well. She kind of had like a folk artsy style, and she mixed realism and fantasy. And she painted about a lot of things, like I said, like pop culture and, you know, just like traditional Mexican art as well. But then she also talked about post-colonialism, gender, class, race, and then, you know, Mexican society. When she was little, she was diagnosed with polio. And she also painted a lot of her perception dealing with pain due to her illness, and then just like general pains, like life pains, you know, like breakups and, you know, things like that. And then she also had a couple miscarriages. So she also painted about that. As she got older, her interest in politics and art led her to join the Mexican Communist Party, through which she met fellow Mexican artist Diego Rivera. The couple married in 1929 and spent the late 20s and early 30s traveling in Mexico and the United States together. She traveled all over the world. She did a lot of cool stuff for like big famous people like the Rockefellers, like commissions and stuff. And she painted, you know, at art museums and big businesses and things like that. Like I said, she traveled all over America doing these things. And I thought this was kind of an interesting quote because this is from, you know, like the 30s. She felt a bit of rage against all the rich guys here since I've seen thousands of people in the most terrible misery without anything to eat and with no place to sleep. That is what has most impressed me here. It is terrifying to see the rich having parties all day and night while thousands and thousands of people are dying of hunger. And I'm like, that sounds
strange.
That sounds really. You could say
Tale
that.
As old as time.
You could say that right now.
Song as old as rhyme.
During their marriage, Frida painted many things, like I said, dealing with pain and miscarriages, but she also weaves in her sexuality too and her other love of women.
Oh. So wait, is she bisexual?
Yes.
Okay.
So Frida was bisexual. She's rumored to have had many affairs, both men and women. They had a really bad marriage and they cheated on each other all the time. But some of her famous infidelities were Dolores Del Rio, Paulette Goddard, Maria Felix, George O'Keeffe. Do you recognize that name?
Mm-hmm.
George O'Keeffe, she's a famous painter.
Yep.
And Josephine Baker. Do you recognize that name? She's a famous kind of flapper. She was a really famous black performer at the time. So she's pretty famous. Her husband was equally unfaithful, which eventually led to their divorce. She moved back to her family home where she remained for the rest of her life. Due to her illness and several failed surgeries, which eventually made her bedridden, her health declined and she eventually passed away in 1954. And she has a really bunch of famous paintings. I'm sure you'd recognize a bunch of them. But again, she's most famous for her unibrow.
Yeah, I'm familiar with like her self-portraits for sure.
Yep. And that was it. I just wanted to talk about Frida and her love of men and women.
I didn't know that she was bisexual.
Yeah.
So I learned something.
There you go.
My gay of the day is okay, so David Archuleta has recently like came back to making music. Had he ever stopped, or is he like on social media now?
Yeah, I think he does a lot of social media.
But I just thought it was funny. Okay, so there's one TikTok in particular where he's partaking in this like stitch trend where the first stitch is okay, let me just reverse before I play this. But David Archuleta used to be Mormon, but he's now since came.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, so he used to be Mormon, and that's why he's like more active on social media now, is because he's kind of given up his religion. And I feel like he's coming out with like new music too, revolving around it.
I think he just came out with a new song maybe like a month ago.
Held Together by David Archuleta, out now. Stream it. Okay, here it is.
If this is you, you better lower your motherfucking tone when you talking to me.
Okay, but
so dumb.
Was this not a short person trend? I'm like thinking back on the video now and realizing oh my I'm 5'5" and but it's not about that, is it? And I'm like realizing that, oh my gosh, wow. And I just, okay.
That's so funny.
Okay, and there's
he's like, oh, which is, I would do that too, like just to be dumb and funny. I'd be like, haha, I'm gonna make a small penis joke at my expense.
Okay, and then this is.
Okay, I'll tell you why I thought it was a short person trend and not the other thing. So in the video that I saw, the stitch, she's holding up the measuring tape like this, and then it cuts to the guy. He was like a real estate agent talking about the housing market, and he's standing far enough back that I think it wasn't just me. It was like a lot of people who saw it who thought he was making fun of how tall he was. He looked shorter. The transition, in my head, I thought he was comparing how tall he was to the measuring tape. And so I tried to copy. So I'm standing farther back seeing Crush, and I didn't stand far back enough to compare my height to the measuring tape she was holding up. But still, I figured people would understand the reference. They'll have seen the real estate guy and other people mock their height. Life will go on. David's 5'5", blah, blah. Clearly, that wasn't the case, but that is the honest truth, okay? Okay, this will be the last video that I make, and then I'll let this go into the grave. But I think the reason why I had a slight freak out and haven't even been able to sleep the last couple of nights is because this is all new to me. Like, I grew up very conservative, and not only did you not talk about this kind of stuff like adult humor, sexuality, you're not even supposed to consider thinking about it. Like, you're not even supposed to think. If it comes into your mind, you're supposed to just shut it down. If some of y'all have seen the Book of Mormon musical, that song, Turn It Off, like it's real. Like, that's a real thing for Mormons. So to have gone there this week, even though it was unintentional, but to like make a TikTok that actually was like a sexual, I guess not sexual. I mean, your body doesn't always have to be sexual. Sometimes but it was just such a big no-no all my life to even discuss. So to have brought it up to the table in front of everyone in public, it was just like my brain is saying, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be to like transition into being okay to talk about this stuff. It's like I'm growing up in front of everybody, and it's like, wait, David, but some of y'all are like, we're the same age, and this is like high school and college stuff. Or maybe it's even middle school for y'all, people who are younger than me. They're like, we've already, like, that was years ago for us, but for me, it's right now. And it's kind of a strange place to be, especially in front of people, especially after people have seen me and have known about me for 15 years, maybe at this point. Also, I realized I cut my fingers, so that's what that is. But it's like a liberating experience, but it does freak my brain out because my brain was so used to just being locked up with that kind of stuff. It was about being squeaky clean. And I really lived that, like, I lived shutting down my brain. It was easy for me to do because I'd done it all my life, and now it's opening up, and it's just a bit wild for me, but it's also liberating and freeing and exciting to finally feel like, yeah, I'm growing up, having these adult pangs and just living life. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm going to let this go now.
Super funny. So yeah, just him and coming out of religion. That's always exciting.
Yeah, I think it is weird. Like, I didn't know he was Mormon, but then also to be like, don't ever think about sex ever again. It's like only used for procreation and that's it. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, that's weird.
Or what's it called? Soaking.
What's that?
You don't know about this?
No.
In the Mormon, so like, do you know how there's like multiple? I forget what it is. It's like they can't have sex. Maybe it's before marriage or something. But a loophole is like I can penetrate but not thrust. You've never heard of this?
No.
What?
Never in my life.
What? You've never heard of this? Okay, so you can penetrate but you can't thrust. But you have somebody else push.
That's like fucking Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, that's literally what Handmaid's Tale is like based off of, is Mormon. Like kind of. I mean, at least in my head.
So like if you thrust, it's sex, but if somebody else
pushes
you, it doesn't count.
Or if somebody shakes the bed, that's okay. But if you're just standing there, and so they call it soaking because they're just like, I think it's called soaking.
Why would you call it that?
I can't believe, soaking Mormon. I can't believe you didn't know this.
Thomas is just.
I can't believe marinating.
No.
Also known as marinating or floating. I can't believe you've never heard of this.
Who fucking thinks of this?
Sexual practice of inserting the penis in the vagina but not thrusting or ejaculating.
Don't you dare thrust. What?
Yep. So
who thought of this idea?
It's not against God if there's... Oh, I love that there's an illustration.
We will be adding this.
Like, I understand the concept. Thank you.
Okay, so... Oh, yeah, I get it. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, illustration. I put it together. So then, like...
It's a loophole. Okay, there's a law of chastity which says that the sexual activity outside of heterosexual marriage...
So gays can fuck all they want?
No, it's saying, so like, because some, like, deep Mormons have multiple wives, but they're not all married. Okay. So if you're not married to her...
Oh, I get it.
Like, if it's outside of the marriage, then you can soak and it's fine.
Oh, then it's not cheating?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, not... Because it's not cheating with Mormons.
Well, is it outside of marriage or just like... If you're just not married yet.
Any sexual activity outside of marriage, heterosexual marriage.
Okay. I'm learning so much today.
Yeah. So like no masturbation either.
What do you do with yourself? This is wild. Who was like...
I can't believe you didn't know that.
Who honestly thought of this and was like, this is a great idea. Golden. Loopholes. We love them.
I'm trying to find... I found it.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's called jump humping.
That sounds fun.
Which a third person is invited to bounce on the bed or push up on the mattress from below. For a couple engaging in soaking, thus generating motion for them.
How do you proposition that as well? Like, how are you like, hey buddy. Hey bud.
The external source of motion allegedly absolves them. Like, let's fucking... Okay, and then it's provo pushing. The jump pump assistant has been termed the bed jumper or provo pusher is another term. Clothed or unclothed, non-penetrative dry humping or sexual frottage.
I guess, like, people proposition...
Durfing! Dry humping between church members is also called durfing.
Durf.
You want to durf later? I cannot believe that.
I'm gonna durf you so hard. I guess, like, threesomes are, like, whatever. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know, I guess, like, this is, like, an awkward threesome, basically. That's what it is. Or foursome, depending on if you need two.
Which is, like, so funny.
Pushers.
No humping though.
How do you be like, hey babe, let's soak later, and then I'm gonna call Bob over there to push the bed around. Okay, let's do it. I feel like threesomes are typically more like sexy and sultry, and this would be just like, what's that one religion where they have that sex shroud, and it's like if you don't see the other person's private parts, that doesn't count. And so, like, you put a shroud and there's just, like, a little slit for the vagina that the man is just supposed to enter in. And it's just, like, it's supposed to block. So she can't see your penis and you can't see your vagina because then it doesn't count.
Isn't that Muslim?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I think...
Like, if it's before marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they can't see each other. Or the woman can't be seen. Or something.
No, it's just the genitals. Like, you guys can see each other, but you can't see the genitals.
Oh, so there's a... Okay.
It's like a piece of fabric or something like that. I think it's just talking about the genitals.
I'm just wondering if it is Muslim.
Oh,
because,
maybe. I don't know.
Because that's how, like, Muslim women are.
Right.
Like, everything's covered except, like, the face.
Yeah.
And sometimes the faces, too.
I just think all of these things are so wild. Like, somebody had to sit there and think of this and then implement it and then spread the word.
Well, and, like...
and tell people about it.
Well,
like,
this is the loophole. I talked to God. And God said... He himself came up with this term called durfing.
Right.
And if we durf, we go to heaven. But if we don't durf, we go to hell.
And on that note,
there's also jump humping and provo pushing.
Provo pushing. That sounds like kind of fun. Provo pushing.
Oh, Provo, Utah, because it's the home of one of the provo pushing.
Provo pushing. Push it real good.
Marinating or floating. I love that.
Gross. That is nasty.
I love that fucking I can't believe you didn't know that. I'm so
No.
glad to have taught you about soaking. And I don't even remember where I figured it out.
I don't know. I've never heard that. I guess I'm
Yeah.
not real educated on the Mormon religion.
I guess not. But at least David Archuleta's out.
Right. He escaped.
He is so cute too.
Yes, he is.
He's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally funny.
But I suppose, y'all.
All right. Well, everybody have a good day.
Yes.
Please practice proper marinating.
Derf responsibly.
Derf responsibly. Bye.
Bye.
That's what.
Thanks for listening to Flamingly Unfiltered.
Now available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok to keep up with the podcast.
Start the week off strong every Monday with Zach and Thomas.